Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Rayman Origins. My name is Wagga and I'll be playing this game so you don't have to. So, released to critical acclaim in 2011, Rayman Origins marks the return of Michel Ancel, designer of the first two Rayman games. As its name implies, it took the series back to its roots, ditching the 3D gameplay of Rayman 2 and 3 and went for a more traditional side-scrolling 2D perspective, which suits me just fine. Anyway, despite being a relatively new game, I can safely say that Rayman Origins is one of the best platformers ever made. It also allows you to do this. Isn't that the greatest thing? I mean, what other game lets you do that? You better get used to that particular tune, we'll be hearing an awful lot of it. Not much else to do here, so I'll just shut up for a second and let you guys enjoy the intro video. Well, that went just beautifully. We're taken prisoner before we could even begin our adventure. Thankfully no one double-checked the locks, so we can break out and, well, I suppose we have to let this guy out as well to proceed. Hello there. The green person with a big grin is Murphy. You might know him from Rayman 2. And he's telling us that our master, the Bubble Dreamer, acting like a chicken over there, has gone a bit of a cuckoo, so we have to fix it with Electoons. I don't know how that works. And who might you be then? Oh, the game also marks the return of the magician from Rayman 1, portrayed here as a hat. Apparently we've woken up our neighbors to live it dead by snoring on the job, whatever that job might be, and now we have to make things right. The thing is, we can't get to the land of the living dead before giving skull teeth to the scythe-wielding dude over there, and it's gonna take quite a while, so don't worry about it for now. The plot of the game is kind of weird. It was supposed to be more detailed in the game, but as it is, there's only some mentions in the manual about what's going on. Basically, Bubble Dreamer is the god of the world, and he's had some bad dreams and nightmares which have now come true, and we have to collect Electoons and a whole bunch of stuff to make things right again. So without further ado, let's begin our hunt for those Electoons, shall we? As we begin our journey, we don't have much we can do. We can merely jump and run and wall jump. That's about to change very soon, though. The damsel in distress over there is Betilla the Fairy. She was in Rayman 1 and was responsible for all the power-ups you got. She serves a similar purpose in this game as well. We have to catch her to get the power-up, but there's no reason to hurry. The screen doesn't follow you, or there isn't a timer or anything, so you can take all the time you need. We have all the time in the world to kill some enemies and pick up these yellow things called lumps, which are red now. Whenever that song's playing and they're red, that means you get double the lumps. We'll see what they do in a minute, but our first concern right now is to break Betilla out of her prison. Unsurprisingly, our first power-up is attacking. A couple of different ways you can go about it. By tapping the button you can perform a combo, left, right or up. You can jump in midair and kick, you can do a foot sweep. You can power up your punch by holding the button down or releasing it, but the two main attacks I'll be using are dash and ground stomp. Dashing in particular is really good because not only does it get rid of enemies that are lined up in front of you, it also allows you to go really quickly once you master it. Now, if you get hit once, you die. It's as simple as that. If you have a heart, you have an extra hit point, but other than that, it's one hit and down to the grave you go. However, it's quite alright, because there are no lives in the game. You saw me pick up my 100th lum and no one popped up. In other words, your only penalty for getting killed is being sent back a bit, which can be a bit annoying in later stages, but I still prefer it to having to deal with lives and continues. That thing over there is the skull coin, and they're worth 25 lums. They're quite pivotal if you want to get a perfect game. I'll talk about them in more detail a bit later on. And so we've reached the final screen of the level. They're all pretty much the same, a bunch of enemies connected via a beam to a cage. Once you kill the enemies, the barrier around the cage disappears, you can very meticulously break the locks on it, and for a prize we get our first Electune. So now we can see what the lums do. At the end of each level, the magician tallies up your lums, and in exchange for them he'll give you additional Electunes. There are 3 tiers in his flask. The first 2 always give you an additional Electune, and the third one gives you a gold medal. Which makes Rayman dance. And not much else. Seriously, it doesn't do anything. You shouldn't get them. If you're playing the PS3 version, you can get a trophy out of collecting every one of them. In the Steam version though, no such luxury. So don't get them, they're pointless. For the sake of the Let's Play, I'll be getting all of them, but I really urge you not to do the same. The magician here is telling us a bunch of stuff we already know, but let's see what he says anyway. The magician was featured in Rayman 1. He was the one narrating the introduction video, so if that hat looks familiar to you, that might be because of it. Sometimes the environment has hidden stuff like that, so better be looking for any bubbles you see. And whoa! Let's see how the skull coins actually work. In order to get the 25 lum bonus, you either have to wait a while like I did over there, or you have to cover enough distance. If you get hit during the time it's still connected with the beam, you're not gonna get the bonus, and the skull coin will simply return back to its original spot. Okay, I really should have taken the lower path for this for extra lums, and also now I have to hurry up to get that other Lum King bonus before it fades into obscurity. Just barely got it before it floated away. Whenever you see things inside bubbles, you should get them first. Obviously the coin is worth more than 2 lumps over there, so that's what I went for. But these freely floating lumps, like the ones you saw there, they will never disappear before you pick them up. If you have to decide between a bubbled one and a freely floating one, always take the bubbled one first before it floats into obscurity or pops. And I apologize for backtracking, but I did forget some lumps over here. If I'd taken this route when I had the Lump King bonus, I would have gotten a whole bunch more of them. Did you hear that call for help? That means there's a secret nearby. We didn't see one in the first level, but from here on out they'll be featured in just about every level in the game. Secret areas work much like the level ending sequences. There's a bunch of enemies connected to a cage with a beam. Get rid of the enemies, grab the cage and get an additional Electoon. Also, our Electoon grid has 6 slots in it now. So that means, in addition to the 1 we get for clearing a level and 2 in exchange for lumps, there are 2 secrets per level, for the most part. There are some exceptions. As to what the 6th Electoon is, most of you probably figured that out, but in case you didn't, I'm not gonna say anything. You'll see it in a few videos' time. Aside from secret areas like that, Rayman Origins also has a bunch of stuff tucked away out of sight. Usually it's skull coins in a crevice or a pit or something like that. It's much like any other platformer out there. If you ever played Mario or Donkey Kong, you probably have developed an eye for that sort of stuff and really don't have that much of a trouble finding them. Oh, look at that, our second secret, and an alternative way of clearing it. Sometimes you can use the environment to your advantage to get rid of the enemies. However, there is a tiny downside to it. For every enemy you kill, you can get a total of 2 lumps, or 4 if you're using the Lump King bonus. You get the first one for bubbleizing an enemy, hitting them once. The second one you get for bursting that bubble. The thing is, though, you only get those lumps if you kill the enemies yourself. To put it simply, if you want lumps, kill the enemies yourself, don't let the environment do it for you. Oh, I wish every Lump King bonus went as well as that one. So we reached the end of the second level, and looks like we have quite a few lumps. Surely we'll be okay with these ones. The first level only required 150 for the gold medal, so in other words, my backtracking was completely in vain, and I simply could have left each and every skull coin behind me and still get the gold medal for this level, right? Wrong. 150 wouldn't even begin to cut it. It's quite a bit more now. There are some exceptions to the rule, but chiefly the levels require 350 lumps for the gold medal, which I once again stress you shouldn't get because it doesn't do anything. Yeah, dance, Rayman. Dance to your heart's content. No one else will. Nobody else cares for those gold medals as much as you do, apparently. We've unlocked our first character. We can find them in the snoring tree along with the old crazy guy and Murphy, but we'll check it out eventually. Also, each world has a tricky treasure map, but we can't get there yet, so we'll have to come back later when we have enough Electoons. Alright, Punchy Plateaus. The magician's still rambling on about stuff that I've already discussed. We've seen those Balbo lumps before, but they release stuff. You can either punch them a bunch of times, in which case they generally release the bonuses one at a time, but if you throw some weight behind your punch or ground stomp the Balbo lumps, then you usually get all of them in one go, which is my preferred method of doing it. Also, this level marks the beginning of the great music in the game, so I'm gonna shut up for a while and let you enjoy it. So long. I think that's enough silence from me. This skull coin avoided me for the longest time. I think the livid stone enemy, because that's what they're called, kind of guards it, kind of hints at it when you drop him down, but it just simply never occurred to me there might be something down there until very recently. Please do not feed hearts to the tentacle monsters, you'll have more use for them yourself. We have a new enemy type. These are Dark Toons, which are Electoons gone bad. And the official protocol of the Glade of Dreams when it comes to Dark Toons is to simply stomp them to death. Don't bother trying to convert them with magic or what have you. Just kill them all. Oh, I missed the wall jump there. Oh well, there's a secret to the left, so we'll check that out. Okay, there's again a couple of ways to go about this. You can kill the enemies to the spikes below, but that's not the way I want to do it, because, like I mentioned before, if you do that, you're gonna miss out on lums, and I have a feeling I'm gonna need each and every last bit of them for this particular level. Even as I say that though, I'm still gonna leave one of them behind because I don't want to seem like I'm too OCD, I suppose. Oh right, every time you find a secret area, the Electoons will be dancing around it from there on out. You can still enter them on your subsequent playthroughs, but if you're only gonna look for secrets that you've missed, then it's a good way of telling which one you've already found. Of course, there's this skull coin over there. Not a big surprise at this point, I'm sure. Don't be fooled by that help me soundbite. I tried looking around for the secret area on this screen for some time on my first time through. It's actually on the next screen, so yeah, don't be fooled by that sound. Okay, you know what, I'm kind of feel bad for leaving that one bubble behind before, so I'm gonna go for this one. You never know when you might need them. So that's all secrets found. All we have to take care of now is get enough lums to get the rest of the Electoons and the medal. We're only gonna need 100 or so more. There's a Lum King bonus up here, which I want to get. If you decide to get it though, don't do what I did. It lands up on the right side of the blue critter, so jump directly to that one and the creature will grab you and you will get 4 lums that I did at this try. You never know, it might make all the difference in the world. Okay, before proceeding, there's a skull coin on the right over there, which I want to get, but oh no. Well, I've released the Lum King inadvertently, so now I'm gonna have to make the best of this power up before it fades into obscurity. This sometimes happens. You accidentally jump on a platform that has bubbles coming out of it. You release a power-up and then you have to forget what you were doing and simply chase after it before it disappears. Now, how hard can it be to get up there? I apologize for any backtracking, by the way. Sometimes these things happen. Oh, also it's worth ground stomping the bouncy platforms every once in a while, because they could get you into areas you couldn't normally reach. Finally, the end of the level, and check out our lum count. If I hadn't killed those few enemies in the secret area, I wouldn't have enough lums for this one. Granted, I did screw up a couple of Lum King bonuses, so if I nailed those, I wouldn't have any trouble in the world. But this is a reoccurring thing in the first world. There aren't a lot of enemies you can get lums from. If you don't get everything just perfectly, then you're this close to not getting the medal. The first world really isn't generous with lums. Of course, you can always go for the sane man's choice and just forget about the medals altogether. Also, I'm aware that the lum exchange is kind of boring to watch, so in future videos I'll be speeding that up to save some time. Okay, I think that's enough for one video. Hope to see you next time when we tackle one of my favorite levels in the first world.